day filled with knowledge sharing, collaboration, and inspired action.
It is my privilege to introduce Ms. Hasanti Desanaike, a highly accomplished career diplomat with nearly 3 decades of distinguished service in the Sri Lankan Foreign Services. Ambassador Desanaike is widely recognized for her expertise in steering high-level meetings and negotiation focused on climate change, ocean governance, and disaster management, along with sustainable development. She has been instrumental in advancing nature-based solutions, climate financing, and consensus building among governments, NGOs, and private sector stakeholders. A skilled negotiator and strategist, she combines critical thinking, sharp analytical acumen, and a commitment to resource mobilization and inclusive diplomacy. It is an honor to welcome her as a keynote speaker for today's conference. With that, please join me in warmly welcoming ma'am to deliver her keynote address.
Okay. Excellencies, honorable guests on stage, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. First of all, let me thank the World Maritime University for inviting me for this event. My greetings to you all. It is a privilege to join you today to reflect on a subject that is as timeless as it is urgent: ocean governance and diplomacy in the Indian Ocean region. Next slide, please. Let me begin with a simple definition on ocean governance. It is comprehensive systems of regulations, policies, and cooperative actions by governments, organizations, and other stakeholders to manage and sustainably use the world's oceans and their resources. And it aims to protect the marine environment, conserve biodiversity, and ensure that ocean resources are used in a productive, safe, and secure manner for both people and the planet. Ocean governance has become paramount in this decade, as we are now looking more and more towards oceans for food security and our economic requirements, beyond traditional fisheries and maritime trade, as well. And we call it blue economy. Next slide, please. Ocean is a living entity. When we use ocean resources, there are certain aspects that we need to consider, such as sovereignty of ocean data, justice, rights, protection, and most importantly, coherence to maintain restorative human-ocean relationship. Next slide, please. Oceans provide many important goods and services to humanity, including climate regulation, absorption of carbon, transportation, economic products and services, including renewable energy, food and ingredients for medicine, among others. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we move to the next slide. Given these nuances connected to the ocean governance, let me now focus on the Indian Ocean. Next slide, please. The Indian Ocean has always been more than a body of water. For centuries, it carried merchants, explorers, ideas, and culture across continents. Historically, the Indian Ocean was Silk Road of the sea. Spices, textiles, and gold carried across civilizations, alongside the spread of Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, and Christianity. Next slide, please. Colonial powers fought naval battles to control these routes, with the British Empire ultimately dominating its choke points. Here are some of old maps showcasing the historical context. Next slide, please. This slide has a map of old and new trade routes across land and sea, connecting Indian Ocean different states. Next slide, please. There are many shipwrecks along the trade routes of the Indian Ocean dating back to over 2 millennia. Sri Lanka, for instance, is known as the wreck diving capital of the Indian Ocean, boasting hundreds of wrecks. These includes the 2nd century BCE Godavari, the HMS Hermes from World War II, and the ancient Portuguese ship Esmeralda. These sites hold significant archaeological value and serve as thriving habitats for marine life. The Godavari wreck is Asia Pacific's oldest shipwreck. At a depth of 32 meters off Godavari in southeast of Sri Lanka. Archaeological evidence has so far confirmed that this trading vessel was full of copper. North and south. Nearly 2/3 of oil shipments, approximately 80% of trade by volume, about 1/3 of world's bulk cargo. 95% of world's critical communications, including global data and voice traffic, are carried through undersea cables. And in terms of volume, this data, the Indian Ocean is a vital player. Next slide, please. The Indian Ocean, the world's third largest span, 20% of the Earth's water surface, and connects 38 countries across Africa, Asia, and Australia. Home to 1/3 of the global population. It is a vital artery of world trade, particularly for oil and gas, with key choke points such as the Strait of Hormuz and Malacca. Rich in natural resources and strategically positioned, the region has become a focal point of economic and military competition among both regional and global powers. Next slide, please. The Indian Ocean region includes several critical maritime choke points essentially for global commerce and potential conflict clashes. Key choke points are Strait of Hormuz, Bab el-Mandeb Strait, Strait of Malacca, and Cape of Good Hope, all vital for trade and energy security. The region hosts major shipping areas and energy routes, making it geopolitically significant to global powers. Important ports include Chennai, Mumbai, and Kochi in India, Durban in South Africa, Mombasa in Kenya, Port Kalang and Tanjung Pelepas in Malaysia, Singapore, Dubai, and Salalah in Oman, and the port of Colombo in Sri Lanka. This underscores the Indian Ocean's crucial role as an artery for global trade, especially energy. Next slide, please. The very centrality of the Indian Ocean also exposes it to immense challenges with rising environmental and geopolitical concerns. Climate change is warming its waters faster than most other oceans. Degrading and destruction of coral reefs, overfishing, disputes over island territories. It is also one of the most plastic polluted in the world. Illegal fishing, human trafficking, piracy, and growing strategic rivalries further complicate governance in this vast region. Quite literally, for Indian Ocean littoral states, the prosperity of nations depends on the security, stability, and sustainability of this ocean. Next slide, please. The Indian Ocean plays a crucial role in the Indo-Pacific strategy, highlighting the interconnectedness of global power and trade. Nations leverage its maritime strengths to protect power and advance national interests, requiring a robust civilian and military maritime capabilities. Major global powers like United States, India, and China are significantly engaged in the region, resulting in complex geopolitical dynamics and heightened tensions. Next slide, please. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the legal anchors for governance are clear. United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, the recent Agreement on Biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction, the Commonwealth Charter, and regional mechanisms such as the Indian Ocean Rim Association and Bay of Bengal Initiative for multi-sectoral technical and economic cooperation. Yet, treaties alone are not enough. The real challenge is implementation with political will, consistency, and inclusivity. Next slide, please. This is where diplomacy becomes indispensable. Ocean diplomacy is about building trust, reconciling diverse interests, and turning shared vulnerabilities into collective strengths. Next slide, please. Sri Lanka, positioned at the heart of the Indian Ocean, near key east-west shipping routes, holds both strategic opportunity and vulnerability. With its ports of Colombo and Hambantota and a vast exclusive economic zone, the island plays a pivotal role in global trade and regional security. Drawing on its deep maritime heritage, Sri Lanka is now leveraging its geostrategic value to drive economic growth, fostering regional cooperation, promote sustainable ocean governance, while carefully navigating relations with major powers. Next slide, please. Understanding its geostrategic location and the importance of peace in the Indian Ocean region for its development and of the region, in 1964, Sri Lanka proposed declaring the Indian Ocean Zone of Peace. It was followed by adopting the Resolution 2832 at the UN General Assembly in 1971. It called for demilitarization, geopolitical neutrality, protection of sovereignty, freedom of navigation, and dialogue among powers. That vision is even more relevant today. With naval exercises multiplying, defense pacts expanding, and tensions rising, the Indian Ocean is steadily becoming the new theater of strategic contestation. A renewed commitment to its demilitarization and cooperative governance is therefore vital. Next slide, please. During my tenure heading Ocean Affairs, Environment and Climate Change Directorate, I was a part of effective ocean diplomacy engaging in turning vision into action. If I may refer to my experiences, Sri Lanka demonstrated leadership by chairing first meeting of IORA Working Group on Maritime Safety and Security in 2019, represented by 20 out of its 23 members at that time, with diverse interests, guiding the representatives to reach consensus on a comprehensive work plan based on a 50-page document within a single day. We advanced ocean diplomacy further through initiatives such as championing the Commonwealth Joint Action Group on mangrove ecosystems and livelihoods, partnering with UN Organization on Drugs and Crimes to combat all forms of trafficking, illegal fishing, piracy, and maritime pollution, and coordinating international support after MV Express Pearl disaster in 2021. Sri Lanka also pioneered a national framework for submarine cable protection, working with the UNODC and International Cable Protection Committee. Later, the experience and learnings were used to develop a similar framework for Bangladesh. Internationally, small island development instincts is yet another example of how developing small island nations can come together for collective outcomes benefiting all. These experiences prove that even small nations can lead global ocean governance through vision, partnership, and persistence. Next slide, please. Ladies and gentlemen, ocean governance must be people-centered. Women, youth, and vulnerable communities must be included in policy frameworks. For millions in our region, the ocean is not an abstraction, but a daily source of livelihood. Governance that ignores them will not endure. The climate-ocean nexus is equally critical. Rising seas and extreme weather threaten food security, migration patterns, and stability itself. Ocean diplomacy, therefore, must extend into climate negotiations, sustainable development, and disaster resilience. Next slide, please. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Indian Ocean must not be viewed only as a theatre of competition, but reimagined as a platform for cooperation. To that end, I propose three priorities: strengthening regional frameworks, deepening collaborations through IORA, BIMSTEC, Indian Ocean Tuna Commission, the regional cooperation agreement on combating piracy and armed robbery against ships in Asia, and other on security, environment, and fisheries. Other regional cooperation arrangements such as SAARC and ASEAN are also important platforms for engagement. The next point I wish to highlight is mainstreaming science and technology, expanding access to satellite monitoring, marine scientific research, and digital tools for all states, not just a privileged few. Advancing inclusive diplomacy by bringing government, civil society, academia, private sector, and coastal communities into ocean governance dialogues. Next slide, please. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Indian Ocean is a shared heritage that sustains, connects, and challenges us, and its wise government is our duty towards future generations. True ocean governance must go beyond boundaries, uniting nations around sustainability, security, and solidarity. Ocean diplomacy ultimately is about negotiating not just between states, but between humanity and nature, finding a balance where development and conservation reinforce one another. With urgency and unity, we must ensure the Indian Ocean becomes a space of cooperation rather than conflict, a bridge of prosperity for generations to come. Let me conclude by recalling what Admiral Alfred Kaya Mahan once had stated. One who controls the Indian Ocean controls the world. Thank you.